The massive ships appeared without warning. They emerged from the darkness beyond Neptune's orbit, their metal hulls gleaming under the distant sunlight. Each vessel was larger than Earth's largest cities, stretching for hundreds of kilometers across the void of space. Earth's astronomical stations detected them first. At the McDonald Observatory in Texas, night shift operator Tom White spilled his coffee when the readings came in. His hands trembled as he double-checked the data, then reached for the emergency phone line. "Sir, you need to see this," he said to his supervisor. "Multiple objects, massive ones, just appeared at the edge of our solar system." Within hours, every major observatory on Earth had confirmed the sightings. The objects were moving in formation, their trajectory clearly indicating intelligent control. As they passed Jupiter, the world's governments could no longer keep the information contained. Emergency broadcasts interrupted regular programming worldwide. Stock markets closed. Military bases went on high alert. People gathered in streets, homes, and places of worship, their eyes turned toward the sky, even though the vessels were still too far to see with the naked eye. In Washington, D.C., the president sat in the Situation Room, surrounded by military advisors and scientists. The room fell silent as new data appeared on the main screen. "They're scanning us," announced General Roberts, his face grim. "Their energy signatures match nothing in our database. The technology level is beyond anything we've ever seen." The alien ships continued their advance, passing Mars within days. Their speed and precision of movement demonstrated a mastery of space travel that made Earth's best vessels look like children's toys. Then came the signal. It started as a low hum, building in intensity until it penetrated every electronic device on Earth. Phone screens flickered, television broadcasts distorted, and radio stations crackled with interference. Then, in perfect English and every other major Earth language simultaneously, a message played. "We are already watching." Just 4 words, but they sent chills through everyone who heard them. The message wasn't coming from the approaching fleet. It was broadcasting from somewhere on Earth. In underground facilities across the globe, lights began turning on in rooms that had been dark for decades. In the Mariana Trench, ancient machinery hummed to life. Beneath the ice of Antarctica, thermal readings spiked as something massive began to warm up. The alien fleet halted at the halfway point between Mars and Earth. Their formation spread out, creating a net-like pattern that effectively surrounded the planet. Smaller scout ships detached from the main vessels, moving closer to perform detailed scans of Earth's surface. In his office at the Pentagon, General Roberts received a visitor. The man wore a plain black suit and carried no identification, but the guards let him pass without question. "It's time," the man said simply. The general nodded, pulling a key from around his neck. Together, they approached a wall safe that hadn't been opened in 30 years. Inside was a single red folder marked Protocol Omega. As the scout ships entered Earth's upper atmosphere, their sensors detected something unusual. Energy readings that hadn't been there moments before began appearing all over the planet. Deep under the Pacific Ocean, in the heart of the Sahara Desert, and beneath the polar ice caps, ancient machinery was waking up. The alien ships paused their advance. Their scans showed a planet that had appeared primitive moments ago was now lighting up with energy signatures that rivaled their own technology. In major cities across Earth, people watched as strange symbols appeared in the sky. Projections from hidden sources that formed a protective web around the planet. The symbols were unlike anything in human history, yet somehow familiar, as if humanity had known them all along but forgotten. The man in the black suit turned to General Roberts. "We've kept this secret for generations, waiting for this day. Earth was never defenseless. We were just waiting to see who would be foolish enough to test us." As the sun set over the Pacific, the hidden defenses of Earth continued to activate. The Galactic Empire's first attempt to scan the planet had revealed more than they expected. They were about to learn why Earth had been left alone for so long, and why some secrets were better left undiscovered. The first contact had begun, but not in the way the Empire had planned. Earth's warning was just the beginning. 3 days after the first appearance of the alien fleet, their message arrived. The massive mothership, positioned directly above the International Space Station, broadcast its demands across all frequencies. The holographic image of the Imperial Ambassador materialized in every major government chamber worldwide. Standing 3 meters tall, with metallic-looking skin and eyes that glowed like distant stars, the being spoke in a voice that seemed to echo through both space and time. "People of Earth," the ambassador began, "you stand before the might of the Galactic Empire. 10,000 star systems bow to our rule. 1,000,000 worlds serve our cause. We offer you the privilege of joining our eternal domain." In the United Nations emergency session, world leaders watched in silence. The ambassador's next words carried a clear threat. "Those who accept our rule prosper. Those who resist cease to exist." To demonstrate their power, the Empire detonated one of Jupiter's smaller moons. The explosion was visible from Earth's telescopes, a brilliant flash that turned night into day for a brief moment. The message was clear: resistance would be futile. But in a secret bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, military commander Jack Wilson smiled as he watched the display of force. He turned to his team, their faces illuminated by dozens of monitoring screens. "They're doing exactly what we expected," he said, pressing a button that revealed a hidden wall of ancient star charts. "Show me the Arcturus sector records." A young lieutenant pulled up the files. "Sir, we've confirmed it. This is the same empire that tried to invade the Pleiades cluster 3,000 years ago. Our archives show they lost half their fleet to unknown defenses. Those unknown defenses weren't so unknown to the select few who kept Earth's greatest secret. Since the dawn of human civilization, a hidden group had maintained the knowledge of humanity's true heritage and power. In Beijing, Moscow, Washington, and other capitals, leaders received sealed messages from their most classified military divisions. Each contained the same information. Earth had been preparing for this moment for centuries. The Imperial Ambassador continued his speech, listing the terms of surrender. Earth would submit to Imperial rule. All military forces would be disbanded. Resources would be harvested for the Empire's use. Resistance would result in planetary bombardment. But as he spoke, something unexpected happened. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the Mariana Trench, an ancient beacon activated. Similar signals began pulsing from sites around the globe: the Amazon rainforest, the Sahara Desert, the Antarctic ice sheet. In orbit, Imperial sensors detected energy signatures that shouldn't exist on a primitive world. Their scans showed power readings that matched or exceeded their own technology. The ambassador's image flickered as interference disrupted the transmission. In the UN chamber, a new hologram appeared, this one projected from Earth. It showed recordings of previous Imperial defeats, battles they had fought and lost against forces they had never identified. Commander Wilson activated the Global Defense Network's communication system. His voice reached every corner of Earth, calm and confident. "For thousands of years, we've waited and watched. We built our cities over the ruins of those who came before, hiding our true capabilities beneath a veneer of primitive technology. The Imperial ships detected movement from Earth's surface. Hidden hangar doors opened in mountains, deserts, and ocean floors. Vessels of clearly alien design, but bearing Earth military markings, emerged from their long slumber. You see," Wilson continued, "Earth was never defenseless. We were the guardians, the watchers, the ones who kept the peace in this sector of space long before your empire existed." In high orbit, the Imperial fleet's sensors detected more anomalies. The moon's surface rippled as ancient defense systems activated. Mars's polar ice caps shifted, revealing long-hidden installations. The ambassador's hologram showed the first signs of uncertainty. This was not proceeding according to any expected scenario. The primitive planet was revealing itself to be something else entirely. As Earth's hidden forces continued to emerge, The truth became clear to the Empire. They hadn't found an easy target for conquest. Instead, they had awakened something ancient and powerful, something that had been quietly watching and waiting for this exact moment. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the galaxy's balance of power forever. The Empire launched its first attack at dawn. A wave of fighter ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, expecting to encounter minimal resistance. What they found instead changed the course of galactic history. As the Imperial fighters entered the stratosphere, the planetary shield activated. It wasn't like the crude energy barriers depicted in human science fiction. This shield was alive, a rippling field of golden light that flowed like liquid metal across the sky. In the command center beneath Mount Cheyenne, Commander Wilson watched as the ancient defense system performed exactly as designed. The attacking ships hit the shield and simply stopped, frozen in place as if caught in amber. "Beautiful, isn't it?" said Dr. Smith, the head scientist who had spent decades studying the recovered alien technology. "The shield doesn't destroy them. It just removes them from our timeline temporarily." The floating Imperial ships provided quite a sight for people on the ground. Millions captured images of the frozen vessels, their weapons still glowing with energy that would never be released. The Imperial Admiral watched in shock from his flagship. None of their scans had detected this defense capability. More concerning was the fact that the technology seemed familiar, too familiar. "Sir," his second-in-command reported, "we're detecting energy signatures matching the lost archives of Centauri, the ones that disappeared 3,000 years ago." The truth about Roswell and other famous UFO crash sites finally emerged. They hadn't been accidents. They were carefully planned demonstrations, allowing humans to reverse engineer certain technologies while keeping the most powerful secrets hidden until they were needed. From bases under every major ocean, Earth's real defense fleet emerged. The ships were a perfect fusion of the ancient Guardian technology and human innovation. They moved with impossible grace, their hulls shifting like living metal. To all Earth defense forces, Commander Wilson's voice echoed through the secure channels. "Execute Protocol Omega. Show them why this planet was marked as protected." The orbital defense platforms, hidden in plain sight disguised as satellites, revealed their true nature. What appeared to be communications arrays transformed into weapon systems that made the Empire's best technology look primitive in comparison. In New Delhi, Professor Ray stepped up to a podium to address the world's press. As one of the few historians who knew the truth, he had prepared for this moment his entire life. "The crash at Roswell wasn't first contact," he explained. "It was a reminder. The Guardians who once protected this galaxy left us their technology, their knowledge, and their responsibility. Today, we reclaim that legacy." The Imperial fleet launched a full attack, expecting to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer numbers. Instead, they encountered a defense system that had been perfected over thousands of years. Each orbital platform fired a beam of pure white light. Where these beams intersected, space itself seemed to fold. Imperial ships caught in these intersections simply vanished, transported to a holding dimension that Earth's Guardians had created eons ago. "They still don't understand," Dr. Smith said, watching the battle unfold. "We're not just defending ourselves. We're containing them, protecting them from their own worst instincts." The shield protecting Earth rippled with new energy as the Empire attempted to breach it with their strongest weapons. Each impact was absorbed and redirected, making the barrier stronger. In orbit, the International Space Station revealed its true purpose. The seemingly primitive structure transformed, panels shifting to expose technology that predated human civilization. It became a command center for Earth's space defense forces. Commander Wilson watched as the Empire's first wave of attacks failed completely. Not a single shot had reached Earth's surface. Not one Imperial ship had breached the shield. The defensive system was performing better than even its designers had hoped. "Send the signal," he ordered. "Let's show them what they're really dealing with." As the sun set over the Pacific, Earth's defense fleet took up formation. The ships arranged themselves in a pattern that any advanced civilization would recognize. The symbol of the ancient guardians, the peacekeepers who had maintained order in the galaxy for millions of years before vanishing. The Empire was about to learn that they hadn't found an easy target. They had instead awakened the descendants of the most powerful civilization the galaxy had ever known. The real battle was about to begin. The Imperial Admiral paced the bridge of his flagship, his composure cracking for the first time in decades. The holographic displays showed impossible readings. Earth's technology wasn't just advanced, it was beyond anything in the Empire's database. How? He demanded, slamming his fist on the command console. How did we miss this? Every survey showed them barely capable of reaching their own moon. On the tactical display, another squadron of Imperial fighters vanished into one of Earth's dimensional traps. The Empire had lost more ships in the past hour than in their last 5 conquests combined. Admiral Baker, commanding Earth's United Space Fleet, watched from the transformed International Space Station as the Empire's forces fell into disarray. His gray eyes reflected the light of distant explosions as he addressed the fleet. "All ships, execute Formation Delta," he ordered. "Show them what human ingenuity combined with Guardian technology can do." Earth's vessels moved with perfect coordination. Unlike the rigid, mechanical movements of the Imperial ships, Earth's fleet flowed like a school of fish, each vessel anticipating the other's movements. Their hulls rippled and shifted, adapting to enemy attacks before they even landed. In the Empire's Central Archive ship, the chief historian made a devastating discovery. "My Lord Admiral," he transmitted, his voice shaking. "I found records, ancient records. Earth wasn't marked as protected by someone else. It was marked by its own people." The pieces began falling into place. The Empire had assumed Earth was protected by some long-vanished alien race. The truth was far more shocking. Humans were the descendants of the ancient guardians themselves. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Smith activated the final phase of Earth's defense system. Massive towers rose from the seafloor, each one a technological marvel that had been waiting dormant for thousands of years. "Look at their formation patterns," Commander Wilson observed from the mountain bunker. "They're still using the same tactics they used in the Antares conflict. They never learn." The Imperial fleet attempted to regroup, forming their famous Spear of Destiny attack pattern. Earth's defenders had seen this coming. As the Empire's ships aligned, the orbital platforms fired in sequence. Space itself seemed to fold around the Imperial formation. When reality snapped back into place, half their fleet found itself facing the wrong direction, their carefully planned attack ruined. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Ford from his station, "we're detecting signals from other star systems. Word of the battle is spreading." Of course it was. The Empire had made sure the entire galaxy would witness Earth's submission. Instead, they were broadcasting their own humiliation. Admiral Baker smiled as he read the incoming reports. Other worlds that had suffered under Imperial rule were watching closely. This wasn't just a defense of Earth. It was the beginning of something bigger. "Send the next signal," he ordered. "Let's show them what happens when they threaten our home." Earth's fleet split into smaller groups, each one targeting a specific weakness in the Imperial formation. The Empire's mighty ships, feared across thousands of star systems, found themselves outmaneuvered by vessels that seemed to ignore the normal laws of physics. In the Imperial flagship, alarms blared as systems failed one by one. Their most powerful weapons either missed completely or were absorbed by Earth's defenses. Their best shields crumbled against technology they couldn't even understand. "My Lord Admiral," the chief historian transmitted again, "there's more. The ancient guardians didn't just protect the galaxy. They shaped it, created the conditions for life itself. And their descendants, they're human." The Imperial Admiral watched as another wave of his ships disappeared into Earth's dimensional traps. Everything he thought he knew about power, about the Empire's place in the galaxy, was being challenged. As the battle entered its 6th hour, the truth became undeniable. The Empire hadn't found a primitive world ripe for conquest. They had stumbled into the home of the galaxy's most ancient and powerful civilization, one that had been quietly watching and waiting for this exact moment. The real question was no longer whether Earth would survive, but what humanity would do with the Empire once the battle was over. The time had come for Earth to send its message, not just to the Empire, but to the entire galaxy watching this historic battle unfold. From the transformed International Space Station, Admiral Baker initiated the transmission sequence. The message would be broadcast in the Empire's own language, using their own encrypted channels, a demonstration that Earth's knowledge of their civilization went far deeper than they had imagined. "Attention, Imperial Fleet," the message began, transmitted in a voice that seemed to echo through space itself. "Your attack on Earth has failed, but this failure is not your greatest concern." On the Imperial flagship, the Admiral watched in disbelief as holographic displays materialized on his bridge, bypassing all security protocols. They showed detailed schematics of every weakness in Imperial ship design, every flaw in their tactical doctrine. For 10,000 years, the message continued, "We have watched your empire expand. We have documented your atrocities. We have witnessed your destruction of peaceful civilizations. Today that ends." The display shifted, showing recordings of Imperial conquest missions, missions that had been classified at the highest levels. Somehow, Earth had been watching it all. Commander Wilson, coordinating from the mountain bunker, nodded to Dr. Smith. "Show them what we've been keeping in Antarctica." Deep beneath the polar ice, ancient machinery hummed to life. A massive door, hidden for millennia, slid open. From its depths rose a single ship, but calling it a ship was like calling a star aflame. It was technology so advanced it appeared magical even to the Empire's sensors. The vessel rose into orbit, its hull shifting like liquid starlight. It took position above Earth, and in that moment, even the Imperial forces paused their attack, struck by a deep, instinctual recognition. "That's impossible," the Imperial chief historian whispered. That's the Harbinger, the flagship of the ancient Guardians themselves. It was lost eons ago." "Not lost," Admiral Baker's voice corrected him over the channel. "Hidden, waiting, like everything else on Earth." To demonstrate Earth's superior weapons technology, the Harbinger fired a single shot. The beam of pure white energy passed harmlessly through 3 Imperial destroyers. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ships began to change, their hulls transforming into an inert crystalline structure. That, Baker explained, was set to minimum power. "A demonstration. Your ships aren't destroyed. They're suspended in a quantum matrix. We can restore them, if we choose to." From bases across Earth's surface, more evidence of humanity's true capabilities emerged. Hidden cities that had rested beneath the oceans for thousands of years rose to the surface. Ancient defense systems, far more powerful than anything used so far, activated one by one. "Your empire," the transmission continued, "has existed for barely 10,000 years. Humanity's history as guardians of this galaxy spans millions. We chose to hide, to wait, to watch. That time is over." The Imperial Admiral received a private message displaying the contents of his own personal database, mission logs he had never shared, orders he had never revealed. Earth knew everything. "You have 1 hour," Baker announced. 1 hour to recall all Imperial forces, not just from Earth, but from every world you've conquered unjustly. 1 hour to begin making amends for 10,000 years of tyranny. The Harbinger's presence had an immediate effect. Throughout the galaxy, ancient machinery began to wake up. Earth hadn't just been humanity's cradle. It had been their central command, waiting for the right moment to reactivate the Guardian network that spanned the stars. "We are not cruel," the message concluded. "We offer you this chance to retreat, to reform, to become something better. But make no mistake, this is not a negotiation. It is your one and only warning." In the Imperial flagship, the Admiral looked at his tactical display. Half his fleet was trapped in quantum matrices. The other half was surrounded by technology he couldn't even comprehend. And somewhere out there, across the galaxy, more Guardian facilities were awakening. The Empire had 1 hour to decide not just Earth's fate, but its own. The warning had been delivered. The choice was now theirs. The Empire's hour of decision was marked by a stunning revelation. As the deadline approached, Earth began to reveal its full heritage. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, a massive structure began to rise. Sand cascaded off ancient metal surfaces as a pyramid larger than any human construction emerged. Its surface gleamed with symbols that pulsed with internal light. "Begin the awakening sequence," Commander Wilson ordered from the mountain bunker. "Let them see who we really are." Similar structures emerged worldwide, from the Amazon rainforest, from the depths of the Mariana Trench, from beneath the ice of Antarctica, each one a command center that had lain dormant for millennia. The Imperial Chief Historian's voice cracked as he reported to his admiral. "The symbols, they're identical to those found in the first archives. These aren't copies or reproductions. These are the original Guardian facilities." In orbit, the Harbinger began to pulse with energy. Its presence had triggered something across the solar system. On Mars, ancient cities began to emerge from the red sand. Mercury's surface shifted, revealing vast energy collection arrays. Even Pluto showed signs of ancient construction as hidden bases activated. Admiral Baker stood on the bridge of the transformed space station, watching as humanity's true legacy revealed itself. "Our ancestors didn't just protect the galaxy," he explained over an open channel to the Imperial fleet. "They built it, shaped it, created the conditions for life itself." The Imperial Admiral watched in awe as his sensors detected dimensional rifts opening throughout the solar system. Through these portals, he could see other star systems, other worlds, all connected by technology that his empire had never even dreamed of. Dr. Smith activated the final sequence from her station. "Dimensional grid is online," she reported. "The network is responding. All Guardian facilities are operational." The truth about humanity's role in the galaxy became clear. Earth hadn't just been home to an advanced civilization. It had been the central hub of a vast network that spanned the galaxy. The ancient Guardians hadn't vanished. They had simply stepped back, watching and waiting. From the transformed pyramid in the Sahara, a massive hologram projected into space. It showed the history of the Guardians, how they had seeded worlds with life, guided the evolution of countless species, and maintained peace across the stars. "Your empire," Commander Wilson's voice echoed across space, "built itself on the ruins of our work, used fragments of our technology, claimed our abandoned outposts. But you never understood what you were dealing with." The Harbinger demonstrated its power again. With a subtle pulse of energy, it created a dimensional window showing thousands of other Guardian ships waiting in pocket dimensions throughout the galaxy. Earth's forces weren't just powerful. They were virtually limitless. "We could have stopped you at any time," Admiral Baker explained. "But we wanted to see if you would learn, grow, evolve beyond conquest and domination. You failed that test." In the Imperial flagship, alarms blared as their sensors detected more Guardian facilities, activating on every world they had conquered. Their entire empire had been built within a sleeping giant's domain. The pyramid structures began to pulse in unison. Energy flowed between them, forming a network that encircled the planet. This wasn't just a defensive measure. It was a display of absolute control over space and time itself. "The choice before you was simple," Commander Wilson announced. "You can retreat, reform, and find a new way to exist in this galaxy. Or you can continue on your current path and face the consequences." The Imperial Admiral stared at his tactical displays, watching as more Guardian facilities activated across space. Everything his empire had built, every conquest they had celebrated, had happened only because Earth had allowed it. As the hour drew to a close, humanity's position as the true power in the galaxy became undeniable. The Empire hadn't found a primitive world to conquer. They had stumbled into the domain of those who had shaped the galaxy itself. The ancient guardians had revealed themselves. Now the Empire had to choose its response carefully. The fate of an empire hung in the balance, but the true power had always rested with Earth. As the final seconds of Earth's ultimatum ticked away, the Imperial Admiral made his decision. Pride in centuries of conquest warred with the undeniable reality before him. All Imperial vessels, he broadcast on all frequencies, begin withdrawal procedures. I repeat, all vessels are to withdraw immediately. The retreat began as a trickle, then turned into a flood. Imperial ships engaged their drives, desperate to escape the web of Guardian technology that surrounded them. Earth's defense fleet maintained their positions, watching as humanity's first interstellar victory unfolded. From his command post, Commander Wilson observed the tactical display with quiet satisfaction. "Release the ships we captured," he ordered. "Let them carry our message back to their worlds." The crystallized Imperial vessels began to shimmer, their structures returning to normal. Their crews found themselves intact but changed. They had experienced something beyond their comprehension, a taste of Guardian technology that would haunt their dreams forever. Admiral Baker watched from the transformed space station as the Imperial fleet retreated past Mars. "Begin transmission of the final warning," he commanded. The message would reach not just the retreating fleet, but every world in the galaxy. The harbinger pulsed with energy, and the message began. It showed the truth about Earth, about humanity's role as guardians of life itself. It revealed how humans had hidden their true nature, watching as younger civilizations developed, hoping they would choose wisdom over conquest. "The Empire wasn't the first to test us," Dr. Smith explained to her team as they monitored the retreat. "Just the first to do it after we decided to stop watching and start acting again." In the Imperial flagship, the Admiral received reports from across his domain. On every conquered world, Guardian facilities were activating. The Empire's control was evaporating not through violence, but through the simple revelation that a far greater power had always existed. The pyramid structures around Earth pulsed one final time, sending a wave of energy through the dimensional network. Across the galaxy, oppressed worlds found themselves free as Imperial control systems simply stopped working. "You came to Earth expecting to find prey." Commander Wilson's voice reached every corner of the Empire. "Instead, you found the apex predators of the galaxy. The difference is, we chose to be protectors instead." The retreat turned into a rout. Imperial ships couldn't escape fast enough as the full implications of their situation became clear. They hadn't just failed to conquer one world. They had awakened a power that could reshape their entire civilization with a thought. As the last Imperial ship passed Neptune's orbit, Admiral Baker initiated the final phase. The Guardian network activated fully for the first time in millennia. Every world that had suffered under Imperial rule found itself under Earth's protection. "Remember this day." His message followed the retreating fleet. "Remember that Earth's mercy was greater than your Empire's might. Remember that we could have destroyed you, but chose to give you a chance to change instead." The Harbinger took up position where the Imperial fleet had first appeared, a silent guardian marking the boundary of Earth's protected space. Similar vessels emerged across the galaxy, resuming their ancient duties after eons of sleep. In the mountain bunker, Commander Wilson looked at the final reports with satisfaction. "How long do you think they'll behave?" he asked Dr. Smith. "They don't have a choice," she replied. "The Guardian network is active now. The Empire's days of conquest are over, one way or another." As Earth's defense fleet returned to their hidden bases, humanity began to embrace its true role again. They were not just another civilization among the stars. They were the guardians, the protectors, the ones who had shaped life itself. The Imperial Admiral, watching Earth disappear behind him, understood finally why the planet had been marked as protected. It hadn't been a warning to stay away from Earth. It had been a warning that Earth was watching everyone else. As the sun set on humanity's first day as recognized guardians of the galaxy, one thing became clear. The Empire's attempt to conquer Earth hadn't just failed. It had changed the galaxy forever. Earth had awakened, and the Age of Empires was over. The Age of the Guardians had returned. The galaxy would never be the same again.